trending stories sponsored by Kia. This holiday season, hurry in to get a great deal at your local Kia dealer. After a record-setting season for Lamar Jackson, the Ravens plan to sit their quarterback this Sunday. Baltimore has already clinched that #1 seed in the AFC, so really not much to play for against the Steelers on Sunday. But Shannon, is this a mistake to sit Lamar in Week 17?
Skip, it's hard to say it's a mistake because John Harbaugh knows his team better than me sitting on the outside looking in. But having gone through this one time in '96, we didn't play. Mike didn't play the starters. Some of the starters, myself, John, TD, and we lost in the divisional round to Jacksonville in the next year. In '98. We had everything sold up. We were 14-2, and Mike, like, you guys are playing the last game of the season. Skip, unless there's an injury, and like I said, I don't know. I understand Mark Ingram. I understand Mark Ingram not playing. We saw what happened. He limped off the field and didn't come back into the ball game.
No, I don't even know if he's going to be ready for the playoff.
Right. But for me, Skip, if I'm looking at it like this is going to be 3 weeks. If he doesn't, he's not going to play. John Harbaugh's made that crystal clear. He's not playing. There's going to be 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. He's running white hot right now. I don't want him to lose not one slight of the edge that he's playing with. Now, Skip, if he has a injury, a nagging injury that, he's been dealing with, okay, I get all that. But just to rest him because, we want to protect him, I just think the thing is that when a guy like this is in a rhythm, you just keep it going. You play, even if you're only playing for a half. Say you're playing the whole game, you play it for a half. But let him get some game-type action because this week he's off. Next week, the first round, they're going to have the bye all the way through. And so it's going to be 3 weeks before he play again. Skip, I don't want to say it's a mistake because John Harbaugh knows his team better than Shannon Sharp does. But unless there is a nagging injury that's going on that we don't know about, I would play Lamar Jackson at the very minimum half.
Which is why gut feeling. Who's calling you? Is that John Harbaugh? No. Okay.
Was that my phone? Oh, yeah, that was.
How many phones do you have?
Man, go ahead and stop dry snitching, Skip.
I only have one.
Okay, you got one phone.
I don't have anything to hide.
I'm important. I'm important. People be trying to get in touch with me on the radio.
Burner phone and then the real phone.
Got the phone that the NFL execs and basketball execs call when I get my information.
Yep. You got to see what Twitter has to say about how badly you lost the previous debate.
I won this one. I won.
So, I'm a fan of John Harbaugh's, and I have nothing but respect because he's been doing that for a long time at a high level.
Yep.
And yet, to me, this is a mistake because, to your point, this offense is a precision timing offense with a lot of mesh point rhythm to it where you have to stay in the rhythm. Even their passing game has a lot of rhythm to it, and there's a lot of timing to it. And he has played at an extraordinary level against a very difficult schedule and just keeps rising and rising and rising. And I can only equate it to me to what happened recently to my team, the Dallas Cowboys, when Dak was a rookie because they went through what you went through in '96. They clinched Week 16, the NFC East. It was Dak's rookie year, Zeke's rookie year. And Jason Garrett said, okay, I'll give you a little taste at Philadelphia.
Right.
But it's against a division rival, and you got to be careful because they're going to be laying for you. So he let Dak play 2 series, and he let Zeke play no series.
Right.
And Dak went 4 for 8 and had a lower QBR of 45, and it cost him the QBR championship that year. So he dropped from 1 to, I think, 3. The point is, then 2 more weeks passed after that, and they came out against Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers and company, and a more veteran football team, and they just weren't ready to play.
Right.
And they fell behind 21-3 at home in a quarter and a half of that game. And then finally, Dak said, okay, let's play. And they started playing. They got all the way back to 31-all, and you know what happened.
Right.
Mason crossbar happened. They lost 34-31.
Right.
So at least they redeemed themselves. But I couldn't get it out of my psyche that, man, they just didn't play at Philadelphia, and then they weren't ready to play as a young football team in a playoff game against a veteran football team at home.
Right.
So I fear for Lamar, and I get it. He is a gifted runner and a gifted thrower. So how do you keep him in his flow, in his rhythm, and protect him? Well, it's hard to completely, you have to just give it up. You have to just say, it's football, and you just have to go play.
And the thing is, what they did with me, Skip, is that I was dealing with an ankle injury. But since I didn't play the last game, I ran scout team.
Okay.
So, but
all right.
Lamar Jackson's going to run scout. I mean, that's not, I mean, Lamar Jackson is not a drop back. I mean, you're going to possibly play someone that's a drop back passer. So who is he mimicking?
I don't know. But 3 weeks is a long
That's
time
a long
not
time.
to play football at this time of year.
Right.
It just feels wrong to me.
Because, well, look, everybody has to, but you look at Coach Belichick. Don't nobody get off. Everybody play. Brady plays, Edelman plays, everybody plays. They've been having home field sold up for so many years, but they guys play because he understands. Football is all about rhythm. It's all about timing. And you don't want one thing to go awry. You want to stay in that rhythm, that timing mode. Like I said, now, if he has an injury that's been nagging him, that's been bothering him, okay, I get it. But just to say, we want to protect him, it's football, Skip.
Hey, Jimmy Johnson, loved him, covered him, still love him, obviously. That last game of that breakthrough year in '92 when they were about to go win the Super Bowl, the last game was meaningless at home against Mike Ditka's Chicago Bears. And he's played the starters for, I don't know, maybe 3 quarters. He put the backups in, and they fumbled and stumbled, and the starters had taken their pads off on the sideline. And he went over and made all the big 3, the triplets, put their pads back on and go back out because he believed in playing football. Jimmy believed in a hard practice they were out here. They played at Pasadena, and they were practicing in Santa Monica here. Well, actually, practicing at UCLA in Westwood. And the Thursday before the Super Bowl, he had an all-out full pads practice, and the veterans were not happy with it. But nobody got hurt, and they were ready to play against the Buffalo Bills and wipe them out.
And see, that's just the opposite of what we did in Denver.
Okay.
We was in shorts the entire week. Once we got here, we did all the heavy lifting back at home. And once we hit San Diego, Mike is like, it's just dress rehearsal.
Okay.
I don't want to see the ball hit the ground.
All right. So there are lots of ways to approach this, but I don't love this for Lamar.
But 3 weeks, don't Skip. People don't understand how 3 weeks is a very long time in football. To play football. When think about it, you've been playing every single week at a very high level.
I agree. And if Lamar were in his 8th or 9th year and he'd been doing this for a long time and he'd won a Super Bowl, I'd say, okay, I got it. I don't got this one.
Well, I hope it better end well for him.
Yep.
Because you know what's going to happen.
Big risk.
You know what's going to happen if it doesn't come out. They come out early and they're not in sync.
Yep.
Lamar sitting means RG3 makes his first start in 3 years. All right, are we finally starting to see the real Carson Wentz?
Oh, walk into him.
Shannon's excited about this one. We're discussing it next.